This right here gonna be a cakewalk.
I got good news and I got bad news for Mortal Kombat 1. The good news, they fixed that player 1 glitch that was ruining the game. They also fixed some other bugs and stuff in a small patch they did a couple of days ago. But the bad news, it's not enough. The Mortal Kombat community has spoken. They gathered together and they put together 3 pages of changes that they want Ed Boon and an NRS team to implement. I won't go through this whole entire list because it's a lot, but you can see they have general changes, invasion changes, training, online, ranked, and PC and bug fixes. So they have a lot of stuff here that they're taking a big issue with. We see what Tekken is doing and Street Fighter 6 is doing. Mortal Kombat doesn't even try. But here's the thing about Mortal Kombat. They do not need to try. I spent 19 hours playing the full game of Mortal Kombat 1, and I spent 48 hours playing the test version of Tekken 8. My interest for Mortal Kombat is the lowest it's ever been, and I was not expecting to feel this way. But even with all the criticism stacking up against the game, players aren't happy with the experience. It doesn't matter. Mortal Kombat 1 still managed to place top 3 on the PlayStation Store for September. In the US and Canada, you have NBA 2K24, Baldur's Gate, and then Mortal Kombat 3. For EU, you gotta go down a couple of more spots, but then Mortal Kombat 1 is there as well. We don't have sales figures just yet, but the game is going to be truly massive. And this is kind of why Mortal Kombat doesn't really need to try, because the brand alone sells itself. For PlayStation 4, I thought this was quite interesting. Injustice 2 was one of the top downloaded games for September. And then for EU, you got to go a little bit farther down, but then you will find Tekken 7 there. I just think it's so interesting how these fighting games are so much stronger now. So many years down the road and they're still selling, competing with the best of the best. How do you have Tekken 7 next to Red Dead Redemption? That is crazy, bro, the power of these fighting games. But let's move on. Let's talk about the third fighting game. So you have a really good player here, Good Nemo. This person created a tier list for AKI and is from the perspective of a JP user. Now we could take this tier list with a grain of salt, but the fact that they have AKI here in D tier is mind-blowing to me, because one of my biggest concerns for this next generation of fighting games is the pay-to-win DLC. They're already cranking out the DLC. Omni-Man's around the corner. Tekken 8 is going to get their DLC out within a year, right? April, the first one's going to drop on us. And my concern is that they're going to be pay to win. But Street Fighter, so far, it seems that it's not truly pay to win. We'll see what happens with Tekken and with Mortal Kombat, but Street Fighter 6, they're not really pushing it too far. A character who I think may be broken though is Akuma. Here's a screenshot. This is our first look at the guy. He doesn't have his hair, but you can still see the face animations. Say what you will about Akuma in Street Fighter 6, but I think Akuma will always be legendary. You guys remember Swamp Man fighting against the alligator? Their differences has been settled and they shake hands and the bloodshed will come to an end. But on a serious note, we have Harats Bar. He did a long 20-something minute video, but there was one snippet of that was being shared around, and I think what he says here is amazing, because this is something that I wanted to see. Street Fighter 6 put up that $1 million prize pool. When I first seen that, I was like, if Tekken really wants to compete with Street Fighter 6, they need to match that prize money. It's $1 million. That's going to pool so much competition, so many top players, because that can change a person's life. Walking away with $1 million. We saw Arsenal Ash. He tried to get into Street Fighter 6, but I guess it was just too difficult. The best Tekken player on the planet couldn't learn Street Fighter 6. Maybe the game is just that difficult. Okay, let's stop trolling. This Harats Bar, he basically talks about it. He says the prize pool was 100 million yen for each Street Fighter and Tekken. I'll participate if they have that in Tekken 8 next year. I might do something sneaky before the tournament. People are going to be like, isn't Harada character guarding 100%? I love hearing how you can see that the two people he's talking to is just cracking up. Harada really be keeping it real. If they put that kind of money up, I'm going... Harada-san. You gotta love Harada. Now, the trolling continues from Harada over to Twitter. Someone who's living under a rock. Where do these people come from? They say, please, please just release the date for either the closed beta or the game already. Harats says the release date is Friday. Yeah, I think it's Friday. Where do these people come from? So you guys ever be watching the live streams and then the developers be like repeating stuff over and over and over again? Oh, the heat system does this. Oh, chip damage this. This is why, because you have people who completely missed all of Gamescom and they have no clue about the release date. Like, does this person even know that Yoshimitsu's in the game? Dragunov, Steve Fox, Fang Wei, Panda? Where do these people come from? I don't know. Let's continue. Talking about the beta. A lot of players are having some sign up issues. I know it's mostly in the US. I see people in the comment section say, when I try to click on it, I get a 404, something went wrong, I can't sign up. What am I supposed to do? And Perfect Legend is having that same issue. And so far, Bandai Namco have not responded. I don't know if there is a solution. I have some ideas, but I will not say it in a video because I think that would be irresponsible. But definitely, if you really want to get in there, you will find a way, bro. You just got to make it happen, you know? Now, the beta. They gave us some new information. They showed us Fang's, Azuzina, and Raven's moveset, at least what's related to the Heat Burst and Power Crush and all that stuff. Once players saw these three being posted to Twitter, they went back and looked at all the other characters to see what's changed and what's altered. And so far, from what I was able to see, Mr. Croft says Zhao Yu's Power Crush changed. And then also what I noticed is that Law, his Power Crush also changed. Every other character's Power Crush is remaining the same from the closed network test to the beta. But here's the thing too. Even though this is just focusing on like the heat burst and whatnot, there's going to be a lot of other things in the game balancing wise that changes. Keep in mind, Harada said he really wants to adjust the combos, the damage, the chip. So the game is going to be massively different. And this move list is just the tip of the iceberg. If you guys been paying attention to some of the gameplay that we've seen over the past couple of days, you can see how far they're nerfing the character. I won't even say nerfing the characters because the game isn't a finished product. Once it's a finished product and once the characters are where the developers want them to be, then you can start throwing around the word nerf and whatnot. But now I think it's more so just trying to balance the character and figure out where they should be and where they should not be. And another thing too that's very important is like the developers may have an idea of what they want a character to be, but then when they see players playing it and they see what the reality is, then they'll need to make adjustments and switch things around and whatnot. So that's kind of what they're doing with this beta. Keep in mind, bro, this beta is only 4 days. We have a very limited time to play everything and find everything. I can't wait to get my hands on it. We only have a couple of days away. The final thing that I will say, though, I just remembered this. A lot of people were saying, oh, I didn't get a code. You know, they didn't send me a code in an email. What's happening? Am I missing it? Am I not getting it? All of you guys be patient. The codes will be sent out, I believe, on the 10th or the 11th. Because that's when the registration ends. Right now, they're only updating the versions that players already have it installed. So if you're waiting on a code, just keep on waiting. You got a couple of days because registration is still open and players can still apply to get in. As I was flicking through the characters moveset, I hope you guys were pausing and reading whichever characters caught your eye, caught your attention. Get familiar with the characters, Heat Engagers, and Heat Smash now. So when you get your hands on the beta, you already have some sort of mental game planned out. Because when I touch the controller, I'm clapping everyone's cheeks. I put almost 50 hours